Paul Lawrence grew up with tales of his brave wartime pilot uncle Tony, his dad's younger brother. There were photographs and anecdotes, but the true story of what really happened to him was never known until now. Tony had left his job at a bank, volunteered for the RAF and been sent to Canada to train for bombing missions. On the 30th of October 1942, aged 21, he was part of a four-man crew which took off in their Avro Anson from Patricia Bay, British Columbia, for a routine exercise. The plane was never heard of again. It was the same year Paul's father was captured by the Germans.
He was captured in the desert in North Africa. And he was captured in that same year that Tony was lost. So the family had a double blow, that both their sons, one was a prisoner of war in Italy, and the other was lost, presumed at sea.
The wreckage lay undiscovered until three forestry engineers stumbled across it 71 years later on Vancouver Island.
This is part of a wing right here, I'd say.
It was a painstaking operation to recover the wreck and ensure the remains of the crew were treated with dignity. The plane had been carrying weapons, and so EOD teams were called in to deal with the ordnance.
It's not believed at this time, based off of the crash, that they would have had time to ditch their ordnance. To date, we found 3 of these. The reason why we keep coming back being EOD is the manifests that we've pulled out of archives doesn't really correlate with what we're finding on the ground.
The Canadian authorities took charge of the recovery mission, while here in the UK, the MOD put out newspaper articles looking for the families.
You can't say delight, but you can actually say, I think, well, now we know what happened to Tony. And yes, he will be properly buried. Because at the time, you see, because they were lost, they were on the memorial. All those pilots were mentioned on the memorial.
The discovery, nearly 5,000 miles from his Surrey home, led Paul to search through old documents his father had left him, and he discovered a suitcase full of papers, including letters and a medal.
Tony's medal, which unfortunately the chap never saw. This is quite remarkable because, you know, this is like mint.
Wow.
And that ribbon is so bright, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, you don't often see them looking quite so bright as that.
That's beautiful, isn't it?
And so that was sent to the family after?
Yes, I'm not sure what time. That's what came with it. So it is like a general medal.
Yeah.
But that's what he went in to be, a pilot officer. And that's what he was training for, and unfortunately it was cut short.
So he never would have flown any missions because he was still in.
Yeah, all in training. In training.
Back on Vancouver Island, bad weather initially hampered the recovery. Specialist teams were brought in, and after several painstaking months, the wreckage and remains of the crew were identified. Some of the other relatives have travelled to the site to see where their loved ones lay undiscovered for all those decades. The men who flew together and died together have now been buried together.
I honestly believe now, I feel more pride, in a sense of satisfaction, knowing I've got to know Tony better, and I can now look at the pictures and read those letters that we found, and I think I can add more in my mind to the type of person he was.
You can watch the full programme 71 Years, the loss and recovery of Avro Anson L7056 tonight on Forces TV at 9 o'clock. Kaya Lark, Forces News in Surrey.